Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. Also make sure you turn off the water supply underneath the sink. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the GE refrigerator water valve. It's going to be a very easy repair and it should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the new water valve. The water valve is located in the back of the refrigerator and it lets the water cycle through the unit. The main reason to be changing it out is if the solenoids have gone bad and you're not getting any water, or the body is cracked and you're getting water leaking on the floor. In order to change the part, we're going to go to the back of the fridge. Now that we're at the back of the refrigerator, we have to take the water supply line off. So we're going to put a towel down to catch any water that might come out. And then we're going to use our 1/2-inch wrench to take the water line off. Once you have the water line off, you can drain any water out of it and then set it aside. With the water line out of the way, we can take the access cover off. We're going to use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove all the screws. Now that we have all the screws out, we can pull the access panel off and set it aside. Now that we have the panel off, we have access to the water valve. It's over here on the right side of the refrigerator where all the water lines come together. We're going to use our 5/16 nut driver to remove this screw so we can take it out. Once you have the screw out, we're going to carefully pull the water valve out so we can take it out. Once you have the water valve assembly out, we're going to disconnect the wire harness. It's held in by a couple locking tabs. All you have to do is press on them and separate the harness. And then we're going to lay the valve down so we can take off the water lines. They're all the quick disconnect types. We're going to use an open-end 3/8-inch wrench. If you want, you can label these, but there's only 3 of them and it's pretty easy to remember. This one has a brown color on it to match the brown collar. This one's a bigger water line, and this one's just the smaller clear with no color on it. So we're going to use our wrench and press down on the collars and carefully pull the hoses out. Once you have the hoses disconnected, we have to separate the 2 valves. We're going to use a screwdriver to take the 2 screws out that hold them onto the bracket. Now that we have the valve separated, we can take the wire harnesses off the solenoids. You want to remember that the white is on the right and the red is on the left. You can't mix them up because they're different sized terminals. Once you have the wiring harnesses disconnected, you can pull the water valve out. Here's the old water valve next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. Now we can put the new water valve in. We're going to hook up the wire harnesses first. Remember, the red was on the left and the white was on the right. All you have to do is push them in so they get a good connection. And then we can rotate the water valve underneath the bracket and use our Phillips screwdriver to put the screws in. They don't thread these from the manufacturer, so maybe a little harder than normal to put these in, but they should go through pretty easy. If you have to, you can move the valve around so you can line up that second hole. Now that we have them mounted together, we can reattach the water lines. Remember, we have 3 different ones. We have the all white one, which goes down here. Remember, to put these in, all you have to do is push them in until they go past the O-ring and then bottom out inside the valve to make sure you get a good seal. Then we'll do the 5/16 water line. And then we can do the brown one. With all the water lines reconnected, we can reach inside and grab the wire harness. It only goes on one way, so make sure you push it together and get a good connection. Then we can carefully guide all the water lines in past the copper tubing so they don't rub on any of those, and remount the water valve. Once you have the water valve pushed all the way in, you can hook it on the frame and line up the hole, so we can use our 5/16 nut driver to put the screw back in to hold it down. Once you have the valve mounted, you want to get all these water lines away from the compressor and the hot copper lines. Keep them as cool as possible. Once you have them out of the way, secured, you can put the back cover on and hook up the water line. All we're going to do is set it down in place and line up the screw holes. Then we can go around with our 1/4" nut driver and put the screws in. Now that we have the back cover on, we can reattach the water line. All you have to do is line it up with the fitting, and you can start tightening it with your fingers. Once it starts to tighten down, we can reach in with our 1/2" wrench, tighten it down so we get a good connection. Now that you have the water supply line reconnected, you can turn the water back on, plug the refrigerator back in, and run some water through the dispenser until you get a good steady stream. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.